You didn't land on this message by accident. Something guided you here, something subtle yet powerful, something that's been whispering at the edges of your awareness for days. Maybe you felt a strange pressure around your chest. Maybe your emotions have been rising without explanation. Maybe you've been waking up with a quiet sense that something in your life is reaching a turning point. Whatever it is, the truth is simple. A shift has already begun inside you, and arriving here is the first confirmation. Before a major transformation unfolds, your spirit always senses it first. Long before your mind catches up, your energy field begins to vibrate differently. You might have felt restless recently, unable to settle. Or perhaps you felt strangely calm, as if standing on the edge of a moment you can't quite name. All of this was preparation. Every breath you've taken in the past few days has been leading you to this exact point. The moment your path begins to change. Think about the last week. How many times did you feel like something was pulling you? How many moments did you stop and wonder why things felt off, or why your emotions were shifting without any visible reason? These weren't coincidences. These were the first signs of your old timeline loosening its grip. A timeline doesn't crumble all at once. It unravels gently through small emotional waves, through moments of confusion, through quiet realizations that something in your life no longer fits. And you felt that. Maybe not clearly, not consciously, but deeply. Somewhere inside, your spirit whispered, "Something is coming." That whisper is why you're here now. This message isn't introducing the shift. It's responding to a shift that already started inside you. You might not realize it yet, but a doorway opened the moment you chose to stay here and read these words. A doorway made not of wood or stone, but of energy. You didn't see it, but your spirit did. It sensed the crack of light forming in your path. That's why your chest tightened for a moment. That's why your breath changed. That's why you paused. The exact second you stopped scrolling was the moment your new timeline began pulling you forward. Every major life transition begins with a subtle inner change. Before opportunities arrive, before clarity appears, before breakthroughs happen, something deep within you shifts. Something says, enough. Something says, it's time. For you, that moment is happening right now. Maybe you've been carrying confusion lately, not knowing which direction to choose, feeling lost between possibilities, or sensing that the life you're reliving isn't aligned with the person you're re-becoming. That confusion wasn't a barrier. It was a signal. Confusion is the emotional echo of a timeline dissolving. When your old path no longer matches your inner vibration, everything becomes blurry for a while. You stop resonating with things that once felt familiar. You start questioning habits, relationships, decisions, even your own identity. And it feels uncomfortable, but that discomfort is sacred. It's the sign that your soul is preparing for something greater. Over the past days, you may have felt waves of emotion rising and falling. 1 hour motivated, the next exhausted. One moment hopeful, the next heavy. Emotional turbulence is the spirit's way of releasing old energies. These shifts weren't random mood swings. They were clearings. Pieces of your past timeline shaking loose, making room for the new path forming in front of you. And that path is forming right now as you read these words. Take a moment. Notice the small sensations in your body, the slight warmth in your hands, the shift in your breathing, the tingling at the back of your neck, or the heaviness around your chest. These sensations mean your energy field is responding. You're aligning. You're receiving. You're adjusting to the frequency of change. You may have told yourself lately that something needs to change, even if you didn't know what. You may have felt stuck, even though you were doing everything right. You may have felt like life was holding you in place while something prepared itself behind the scenes. That pause wasn't stagnation. It was incubation. The universe often puts you into stillness before a shift. It removes distractions. It breaks old patterns. It dissolves connections that no longer serve your growth. And though it feels uncomfortable at first, this stillness is the birthplace of transformation. You are standing in that stillness right now. And this message is the first spark of light breaking through it. There's a reason your intuition feels louder than usual. A reason your emotions feel deeper. A reason your sleep has been interrupted or unusually restless. A reason your heart reacts when it hears words like change, shift, or alignment. Your spirit is preparing itself, not for a small adjustment, but for a major redirection. Your old path is collapsing behind you. Your new path is rising beneath your feet. This is the exact moment where timelines split and reform. As you read, notice what's happening in your chest, that subtle lift, that subtle tightening, that subtle expansion. It is your spirit recognizing truth. Energetic truth doesn't hit the mind first. It hits the body. Your breath deepens. Your awareness sharpens. Your emotions stir. These reactions are confirmations. You were led here because you are ready, not perfect, not certain, not fearless. Just ready, ready enough for the shift to begin. Something old inside you has reached its limit. You've outgrown it. You've outlived it. You've passed the version of you that once needed it. And now your energy is turning toward the timeline where you step into who you are meant to become, rather than who you are conditioned to be. Take a slow breath in. Let your shoulders drop. Let your heart soften. And silently, inside yourself, whisper, I'm ready for the shift. This is where your new timeline begins to anchor. Now that the shift has begun within you, the old timeline will continue to loosen its grip. You may already feel the subtle unraveling, a quiet detachment from things that once consumed you, a strange neutrality toward situations that used to trigger you, or a soft awareness that some chapter of your life is quietly closing. These changes are not emotional drift. They are energetic release. When a new timeline begins to form, your spirit automatically pulls away from anything that does not belong in the next phase of your life. Think about the moments recently when you felt disconnected from certain routines or people. Times when conversations felt empty, or certain environments felt heavier than before. You may have tried to understand it logically, but the truth is energetic. Your frequency shifted, and the old timeline couldn't follow. You're no longer aligned with certain energies, and your spirit has begun the natural process of saying goodbye, even before you consciously decide to let go. This inner separation is one of the clearest signs that you've entered a turning point. As your new path forms, everything that cannot support starts to fall away. Not dramatically, not violently, but quietly through fading interest, soft detachment, or a sudden clarity that something no longer resonates. You're not losing anything. You're being redirected. You're being cleared. You may also notice a heightened sense of awareness these days. A sharpened intuition, a deeper sensitivity to truth, the ability to sense people's intentions before they speak. This sensitivity is not a burden. It is an awakening. When a timeline shift begins, your perception expands. You start seeing beyond words, beyond logic, beyond surface appearances. You begin to feel energy, not just emotion, but energy behind everything. And this is one of the strongest signs that your new path is activating. Pay attention to the moments when your heart speaks a little louder, when something inside you whispers yes or no without hesitation, when your gut reacts before your mind forms a thought. These are not coincidences. This is your internal guidance system recalibrating. This is your spirit learning to navigate a new frequency. You may even find that certain emotions come in waves intense for a moment, and then dissolving almost instantly. These emotional spikes are releases. They are old timeline residues leaving your energy field. You aren't overreacting. You're purifying. You're shedding what you cannot carry into the next version of your life. If you felt tired, restless, or mentally overloaded recently, know that this exhaustion is part of the transition. When a timeline collapses, Your nervous system rewires itself. Your mind struggles to comprehend what your spirit already embraced. Your thoughts scramble to attach meaning to the shifts happening inside you. But rest assured, this intensity doesn't last. It's the turbulence before the breakthrough. And that breakthrough is closer than you think. You may already feel it as a steady pull of direction, a possibility, a new version of yourself calling from beyond the present moment. It's not loud, not aggressive, but unmistakable. It's that subtle excitement you feel without knowing why. It's that strange sense of destiny, as if life is gently steering you toward something you can't yet see. That pull is your future timeline aligning itself with your current reality. Sometimes this alignment shows up as synchronicities, repeated numbers, random insights, people saying things you needed to hear, signs that feel too specific to ignore. You might find yourself thinking, why is this happening now? Or this feels like a message, and you're right, it is. When a new path forms, the universe begins to communicate more clearly to guide you into alignment. You might even notice that certain opportunities begin to appear without effort conversations, invitations, ideas that feel aligned with who you're becoming. Meanwhile, things that once mattered seem to fade away. This is the natural consequence of choosing the shift, whether consciously or not. Your energy is upgrading. And when energy upgrades, reality must adjust. You might wonder why some parts of your life suddenly feel unstable or uncertain. It's because instability is what happens when the old foundation cracks. But cracking is not collapsing, it is transformation. Your old way of being is breaking open so a stronger version can emerge. Uncertainty is not punishment. It is preparation. It's the space between timelines, the quiet void where your new path is assembling itself from potential. Allow yourself to sit in this in-between space. You don't need all the answers right now. Clarity comes after release, not before. For now, your job is simply to stay present, to feel the shift moving through your body, your thoughts, your emotions, your awareness. Notice the sensations, the warmth in your chest, the tingling in your hands, the slight pressure around your forehead, the expansion in your breathing. These are not random physical feelings. They are energetic signs of alignment. They show that your soul is responding to this shift, that your inner world is echoing the transformation happening around you. You may also sense a gentle sense of courage rising within you, not dramatic, not loud, but steady. A confidence you didn't have before. It comes from your soul remembering its strength. When you step into a new timeline, the version of you who belongs there begins to awaken. That's why you feel braver than before, more honest, more willing to face what you once avoided. This is your evolution speaking. And somewhere deep inside, you may also feel relief. A quiet relief, subtle yet powerful. Because part of you has finally stopped resisting. Part of you has surrendered to the path unfolding before you. And surrender is what makes transformation possible. Take a breath. Feel the air move gently through your body. Feel your heart soften, even slightly. Feel the shift you've already started. And when you're ready, whisper silently, I accept the change. This anchors the shift further into your timeline. As the shift settles deeper into your energy, something else begins to happen inside you. Something subtle, something profound, something you may have sensed but couldn't name. Your inner world is reorganizing itself. Old thoughts are losing their power. Old patterns feel distant, almost faded. Old emotional triggers are beginning to soften, as if the parts of you that once reacted automatically are now pausing, observing, choosing differently. This is not coincidence. This is restructuring. When a new timeline forms, your internal architecture begins to change. The way you think, feel, process, respond, all of it recalibrates. You might notice that certain things that used to upset you no longer have the same effect, or that certain fears feel less threatening. or that certain insecurities no longer define you the way they once did. These changes are the early signs of a new identity emerging, a version of you that aligns with the frequency of the path unfolding ahead. You may also find yourself questioning things you used to accept without thinking. Your boundaries might feel firmer, your intuition sharper, your patience thinner with situations that drain you. This is because your system's becoming more honest. A timeline shift doesn't just change your future. It changes what you tolerate. You start to see clearly what belongs in your life and what doesn't. And even before you take action, your energy begins the separation process internally. Pay attention to the quiet realizations that have surfaced recently. The moments where you suddenly understood a truth you had avoided. The moments where something clicked. The moments where your own patterns revealed themselves. These aren't random moments of clarity. They are downloads. They are alignment codes. They are fragments of insight from your higher timeline filtering into your awareness. Sometimes clarity comes not as words, but as a physical sensation, a lightness in your chest, a sudden peace in your stomach, a release of tension in your shoulders. When these sensations appear without reason, it means your body is adjusting to a new energetic blueprint. You are responding not to the present moment, but to the frequency of your future self. And that version of you is calling strongly now. There may have been moments recently when you felt done with certain cycles. Not angry, not emotional, just done. A quiet, peaceful detachment. This feeling is powerful. It's not avoidance. It's not denial. It's completion. Your spirit recognizes the end of a karmic loop long before your mind rationalizes it. When something no longer serves your growth, your soul withdraws from it. You stop feeding energy into what drains you. You stop reliving stories that keep you small. You stop participating in dynamics that collapse your spirit. This inner detachment is not coldness. It is liberation. You might also feel an unusual sense of anticipation. Not anxiety, not impatience anticipation. A soft knowing that something is shifting in the unseen. You may not have the details, but your energy senses movement. This is one of the clearest signs that your new timeline is aligning. The future is leaning closer to the present. Potential is becoming reality. Seeds you planted long ago intentionally or unconsciously are preparing to break through the soil. This anticipation is not fantasy. It is energetic truth. Synchronicities may start increasing around you. Repeating numbers, symbolic dreams, meaningful coincidences, unexpected messages, sudden insights, music lyrics that speak to your soul, random conversations that deliver clarity. These signs appear when you are leaving an old path and stepping into a new one. They are confirmations that you are not imagining the shift, you are living it. You may also notice changes in your emotional landscape. Moments of deep calm, followed by moments of intensity. Sudden bursts of inspiration. A renewed sense of purpose. A desire to remove clutter, both physically and emotionally. These urges are not random impulses. They are your spirit preparing space for what is coming. Transformation requires room. The universe cannot deliver new energy into a cluttered inner world. So you may feel compelled to reflect, release, cleanse, detach. Not because something is wrong, but because something is approaching. Something that requires a lighter version of you. A clearer version. A more aligned version. And as this clarity grows, you'll find yourself becoming more sensitive to energy, your own and others. You may feel drained by certain people more quickly. You may feel uplifted in certain environments without knowing why. You may feel a strong yes or no without needing to justify it. This intuitive sensitivity is not overthinking. It is your internal compass sharpening. Your spirit is guiding you through resonance now. What feels light is alignment. What feels heavy is misalignment. What feels peaceful is truth. What feels tense is resistance. Even your physical body reacts differently during a timeline shift. You may feel tingles, warmth, waves of emotion, or sudden pushes of clarity. Your body is not betraying you. It is translating energy into sensation. It is helping your conscious mind understand what your soul already knows. You may also be sensing the presence of something protective around you, a quiet, comforting awareness, a feeling that you are not walking through this change alone. This presence is real. When a person undergoes a major energetic shift, angelic guidance draws closer. You may feel watched over, supported, strengthened in moments of doubt. This is not imagination. It is alignment with higher frequencies. And somewhere inside you, in a place deeper than thought, you can feel it. You are becoming someone new. Someone lighter, someone clearer, someone stronger. The person you were is dissolving. The person you are becoming is rising. And the shift you began, the moment you stayed and listened, is guiding you toward a version of yourself that has been waiting quietly for this moment. Take a slow breath. Place your awareness on the center of your chest. Feel the warmth, the expansion, the energy gathering. Then whisper silently within yourself, I allow this shift to happen. This is how your transformation deepens. As the shift continues unfolding within you, something profound begins to happen in the deepest layers of your being. The parts of you that once clung tightly to old identities, old wounds, old beliefs, old versions of yourself are loosening. Not forcefully, not destructively, but naturally, like leaves falling from a tree when the season changes. You may not notice the exact moment each leaf detaches, but you can feel the landscape of your inner world transforming. The heaviness you carried for so long no longer feels the same. The fears that once defined you feel quieter now. The doubts that used to paralyze you feel less convincing. This I is empty because your mind suddenly became stronger. It's because your spirit is stepping into a new vibration. A vibration incompatible with the limits you once accepted as truth. And as you rise into this new frequency, you'll begin to see everything differently. The memories that once haunted you lose their power. The regrets that once held you captive loosen their grip. The old stories you repeated to yourself start dissolving. This is what release feels like. It is not always loud. It does not always come with tears. Often, it is a gentle untying, a quiet acknowledgement that you are no longer who you were when those memories were made. You may even notice a growing distance between you and your past, not in a detached or numbing way, but in a peaceful way, as if you are finally able to look at your history without being pulled back into it. That distance is healing. It means you are rising higher than the pain that once defined you. You are no longer revolving around your past. Your past is beginning to revolve around your growth. And with this newfound distance comes clarity, a clarity so clean, so sharp, that it almost feels like seeing for the first time. You begin to understand why certain things happened, why certain people entered and exited your life, why certain paths unfolded the way they did. This is not overthinking. This is insight. This is your higher self speaking through the doorway of your new timeline. Your intuition becomes more honest. Your heart becomes more discerning. Your mind becomes less reactive. You stop chasing answers and start receiving them. The things that once confused you suddenly make sense. The internal contradictions that troubled you begin to harmonize. You are entering a chapter where you no longer fight with yourself. You listen to yourself. And in that listening, you discover a deeper truth. You were never broken. You were evolving. You were preparing yourself for this shift long before you consciously knew it was coming. During this stage of transformation, you may also sense a quiet confidence awakening inside you. Not arrogance, not superiority, but a grounded strength. A feeling of I can handle what comes next. This inner steadiness is not imagined. It is a direct result of the energetic foundation being built beneath you. The new timeline supports you. It holds you. It protects you. And because of that support, your spirit can finally breathe. This newfound stability also brings a different kind of awareness, an awareness of what aligns with you and what no longer does. You will find yourself naturally gravitating toward people, ideas, opportunities, and environments that elevate you. And simultaneously, you will feel yourself drifting away from what diminishes your spirit, not by force, not by conflict, simply by truth. Your energy is choosing for you. You may also begin to feel waves of inspiration flowing in, ideas that feel alive, possibilities that excite you, dreams that once seemed too far away suddenly feel attainable. These sparks of inspiration are not random. They are invitations from your new timeline, calling you toward the version of yourself that already lives in that future. Follow these sparks. They are guidance. They are alignment. They are the whispers of destiny moving closer to you. And yet, even with inspiration, there may be moments of stillness, quiet pauses where you feel suspended between who you were and who you are becoming. Don't mistake these pauses for stagnation. They are integration. Your energy is adjusting to its new structure. Your emotions are recalibrating. Your body is adapting to the frequency of change. This in-between space is sacred. It is the womb of your new chapter. Sit in it, breathe in it, trust it. Because soon, sooner than you expect, movement will return. Clear movement, purposeful movement, aligned movement. And you will realize that everything you released made room for everything you are about to receive. As the timeline shift completes its anchoring, you may feel a strange warmth surrounding you, a sense of being held, guided, watched over. This sensation is not imagined. You are not doing this alone. A shift of this magnitude is always accompanied by protection, always supported by a higher presence, always overseen by energies that walk ahead of you, clearing your path. If you sense this presence, acknowledge it. If you feel comfort rising, let it rise. If you feel guided, follow the guidance. You are stepping into a version of your life that requires faith, not blind faith, but embodied faith. A trust that grows from within. A trust that becomes stronger every time you choose yourself, every time you follow your intuition, every time you release what no longer resonates. And now, here in this moment, you have a choice. A simple, powerful choice to accept the timeline forming around you. Acceptance does not require certainty. It does not require knowing how or when. It only requires willingness. Willingness is the key. Willingness is the activation. Willingness is the doorway. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the shift inside you, the quiet hum, the subtle expansion, the gentle sense that something new is unfolding. Then, silently within your heart, say, "My shift starts now." Feel the words settle into your chest. Feel the energy around you respond. Feel the path beneath you align. Because with that sentence, the transformation becomes real.